All right. Well, good evening, everyone. This is Kristie Vogelsberg, and I am so happy for you all to be on with us. As Julie said, it's so great to see all of your smiling faces from all across the country and 4 different time zones, I think, probably or more here. And this evening is Monday night. It's September 11th, and we are just really excited to share our road to Indy as you saw in our pic collage here earlier, to talk a little bit about events and how really events are the pavers that we are going to be following along to get to Indianapolis, which is our upcoming live conference here with our Juice Plus community, which is really our big rock when it comes to our world of events and moving people forward, having the magic happen. Definitely, as Eric Worre, I know he says it so well, is big things happen and big decisions happen at big events. So certainly big things like this and boot camps are huge. And I think back, I know Nyla asked me to share a little bit, even just some of my personal experiences from boot camps or from conferences, big rock places. I can remember it after a boot camp I went across the stage and announced I decided I was going to quit my job as a PA, and JJ was in the audience and his eyes got really big and thought, oh my goodness, but big stuff happens. Or really being convicted. I remember, not convicted in that kind of a way, convicted in a healthcare provider way. I was a physician assistant, like I mentioned, but being at a conference and hearing Paul Zane Pilzer say, when we look at the next trillion-dollar industry that is in the wellness movement, and for those of you that are in healthcare, if you are a healthcare provider, you are a technical pill dispenser. You're basically the gateway that the drug companies need to get drugs down people, and that's kind of what your role is in this sick care system. And I mean, just the tears coming down, it is definitely a big emotional impact when we can get to conference. And that's something that all of our team, that they deserve to have that opportunity, again, to have that emotional impact, to really get filled up. The other big thing when we look at conference in general, we talk about kind of the 4 keys that we see with our business. And it's kind of like a lock that opens the magic and helps move people forward. So what is their belief? Do they have strong belief in the product? They're going to get that. When they hear on the Thursday night, generally the health speaker call or the professional that is doing presentation, they're going to get a big impact when it comes to the product. They're looking at our company and seeing who the core leaders are of our company, hearing our president, hearing from our leadership and those that just are at the helm. That is a huge way to fill us up. And our industry, seeing how we are different. How does our virtual franchise, how does that set apart really from everything else that's in direct sales? And then most importantly, though, it is building them up, their belief in themselves and what it's going to take. You got to have grit. You got to be strong. You got to be filled up and confident and competent about what you're doing. And definitely conference does that for us like nothing else. But also you've got to have a buddy and you've got to have a team. And that's the other great part about conference, is that is where our family, it's like a big family reunion. And for those who maybe haven't gone yet for like the Western Genie or our luncheon that we'll have in Indy on Friday, it truly is like a family reunion and just one of the highlights there for conference. So it'll be awesome to have all of you, or if you're catching the recording, definitely come up to Julie and I and give us a hug and tell us your name, because it is the opportunity that we cherish and love our leadership and what a gift that they are providing for us to all be able to get together. So definitely, so those are some of the big things that we focus on when we look at conference. Definitely now it is the time to prepare, though, get our engines revved up as we are setting our GPS on Indianapolis here, the end of October. But the thing we really want to focus on tonight is how is the road to Indy really paved with events? And it's the smaller events. And sometimes things come out of my mouth and they're just funny. I don't know, even to me. But I told Julie, I said earlier here today, it's like, okay, well, we remember Dawn Rathman, when she has said, when we're talking with someone about the business or inviting them maybe to take a look at the healthy living plan or the 2000 plus, she's like, it's kind of like dating. She's like, you don't ask somebody to marry you, on your first date, at least most of us probably didn't. And it's the same thing with conference. If you want to get someone to sleep with you at conference, share a bed. For ladies here now, we're talking, right? But we need to make sure that we are building in those events. Like, even though we may say, oh my gosh, I want to have this person share this experience with me and just be around all these amazing people at conference, it's not going to probably happen by just out of the blue saying, like, gosh, you should come with me to Indianapolis. They're like, who are you? What is this about? Or maybe they're like, I like the product. I don't want a business. But we can, through a series of educational exposures and events, we can help pave that way. So it makes it then easier. And we want to do those educational pieces, if we can, kind of in short order, line them up fairly quickly here, so that they really have, they're hearing and they're around other people in the community saying, oh my gosh, are you going to come to conference? Come stay with us. Us four ladies will be in a room. It'll be so much fun. It'll be a fun weekend, or a couples weekend, or a girls weekend, or guys weekend, or whatnot. So definitely think about those series of events that we're going to want to put together to be able to end up with that person, in your car and share in a room with them there at conference. So there you go. Okay, so what we're going to touch on here then tonight, I'm going to quick share screen over for everyone. And so the first thing, and I'm sure you guys are all familiar with this, but again, our mission-driven-model.info is our main kind of landing point when it comes to getting started here. So I'm just clicking on our first getting started selection and getting started checklist. So with this, though, what we're going to touch on, this is a great just launching point for any new representative. They're going to walk them through how to get started. Again, we're building that relationship, how they're going to get connected, make sure they're on Facebook. Maybe they've been to a Facebook party. Are they on, are they getting connected via Voxer? If you're just following the checklists here, your team leader is going to help you be able to plant that seed for conference. And again, number 3 is making sure to get on that 3-way connection call or do that Zoom if you have a potential or a new team member that you are introducing here or want to get connected, because right there, as we walk them through, it's already laid out for you. Attend the next Juice Plus Live event or conference, which will be, for us, will be here in October. And the key thing too to think about, though, is the magic can only happen when you show up. So make sure that you are getting plugged in, so that you are planning for these events that we'll be discussing here tonight, as well as for conference. Make sure that you've got a room reserved. Get your airfare. Don't be on the fence, because that's the biggest thing I hear often from distributors. Like, well, if I have a friend who wants to go with me, then I'll go. It's like, well, what's the likelihood of that? If you aren't even committed in your own darn brain, what type of energy and commitment, right, are you going to be putting out there? What are you going to be attracting to you if you're still waffling in your decision making versus making the decision, I am going to go and I'm going to bring somebody with me, and I'm going to go ahead and get my flight or make my arrangements or get arrangements for the kids or childcare or whatever you need to do. Go ahead and get that lined out now so that it's not a stumbling block in your own darn brain, so that you can go on and really focus on meeting the needs of the people that you want to bring with you. Right? Okay, so under our Get Moving, though, here are some of the 3 key events that we focus on that are going to, first, launch a new distributor, for sure, but second, they are going to help you, right? These are the pavers that are going to help you get that new person to come with you to that big rock event such as Indy. So one of the first ones that I'm going to touch on is the Zoom type event. And one of the things that we have been doing here as of late with our team that has been really fun is we do at 7 o'clock on a Sunday evening, because again, I have several new team members, and truly they span 4 different time zones, and they all work. So it doesn't work for us to meet over lunch on the weekdays or to do a Zoom then, or even in the evenings, because many of them work late hours. So we do a Sunday night Zoom, and we call it Stories of the Revolution. And so it really is more of a time of very unscripted, unrehearsed, more really me just interviewing them and asking them. Maybe one night it would be, one Sunday it'd be focusing on an upcoming shred. So maybe we would do stories of the shred, or maybe we just finished a shred and then we have people come on to share what their experience was. So what has been really unique, and we just started doing this a couple months or so ago here, but what's been fun about it is we've been inviting potential customers, maybe brand new customers, folks that just started on the product, maybe just completed their first shred. And because they're getting on with us, and I'm actually interviewing them, and I may touch base a little bit about what I want them to discuss, but we are not scripting it, and I'm not telling them everything I'm going to ask them. I'm going to give them kind of a little bit of an idea, but I want it to be authentic, and I want them to what's really in them to come out as far as their experience. And what is great about it too is because it is authentic. They may say, gosh, well, with Juice Plus, I was really skeptical at first, actually, and I trusted Kristie, but gosh, I didn't know. I tried this and that before, and that authenticity, that coming out of them, is really what resonates with those who are watching, either listening in live or we record it, and so we can play it and share it with others here afterwards. So that's a fun thing, and we tried it. The recording wise, sometimes we'll just make it 15 minutes. 20 minutes tops, that maybe do, again, just some interviews of some new folks, or maybe like this last one we did, it was getting ready for the shred, but it was for those that have done multiple shreds, but we had them share maybe what were things that they found were their biggest challenge with it, and then how did they overcome that. And so just a fun thing then that we can share with other people who are maybe taking on the shred, and then we put that in our team group and title it of what it is. So maybe it's someone talking about their results with an autoimmune issue, or maybe it's a mom, talking about the Tower Garden and how that's impacted in her school. So it's just in general stories of our revolution, though. But those have been some really fun, kind of off the cuff ways that we can invite. And so what's been fun, if these folks, especially that are kind of all around the country, is they are getting in community. They are getting in relationship. So now one that is in Kentucky is really excited to meet one of my team members in person who's in Arizona, and they have a lot in common. And so they're getting really to know each other's stories and their journeys, and now excited to get connected and room together right here at conference. And so that is one fun Zoom event that we have been doing. And so for now, though, I'm going to go ahead and turn this back over to Julie and have her share a little bit about some other fun Zoom things that she is starting, and then finish out with our couple of other events.
Thanks, Kristie. Okay, so I love the aspect of Kristie's Stories of the Revolution, because it's, as she said, not scripted, casual. There are also some other scripted Zoom events that you have maybe seen, participated in, or you can start to host. One is just a Healthy Living Revolution event. So on healthylivingrevolution.com, or you can access it through the missiondrivenmodel.info, there is the PowerPoint and the script for the Healthy Living Revolution. So you can do a presentation like that. And I've done that with some, Kristie and I have done it. We've recorded it to use as a team then to send out for a video introduction to our revolution. I heard that I'm hard to hear. Can you guys hear me better now? Okay, awesome, thanks. And then with the Healthy Living Revolution, also if, like I have my Eat Well, Live Well, so if you have different kind of Prevention Plus type lectures, you can do that as a Zoom. The other thing that we are starting on our team that I really want to encourage is a launch event. And some of you may have done versions of this, Own Your Life, or friends and family type things. But when someone is new, or even myself, I'm going to be hosting a launch event even for myself, and I've been doing this 18 years. But there's a great new script that I just got my hands on that I can share with you guys too for launching your business. And it's, you invite indirectly, you invite friends and family, tell them, you know, you can keep your pocketbook in your purse. This isn't about buying anything. This is about sharing what I'm up to and networking. And I really wanted to invite some friends and family to an online launch event to see what I've been doing, to share more about this franchise I've started and this mission I'm a part of to inspire healthy living. And so you invite friends and family. And what some of my colleagues who've been doing these, they'll invite 40 to 50 people and 15 people get on. And of those 15 then, you know, it's all about inspiration. It's about 10 minutes of information on our Juice Plus resources, about 10 minutes on the company behind Juice Plus and our mission, and then closing in a very inspiring way about asking, you know, who do you know who would maybe be interested in any of these, and letting, for instance, Lindsay Irwin is a new rep on our team who's finishing her 2000 plus, and she's done it all really without events. She's on the line tonight, so kudos to Lindsay. We'll be wrapping this up. But she's done it without events. She's done it just with one-on-one talking. So I can't wait to see how her business blows up when she starts adding events in the mix too. And it goes hand in hand. It goes both ways. It goes with messaging people, inviting people to learn more in casual ways. But then the events are just an area, you guys, that it brings some magic to our business, because it is the sense of community. It's the sense of being a part of something bigger and having someone amen what you've been saying, or just feeling that sense of community and fellowship. So Zooms are great, casual or scripted presentations. I highly recommend that you schedule at least one Zoom event for your business each month. Facebook events. This is something that we do as a team. We have one particular leader, Michelle Brunke, who spearheads it, and she's hosting a Facebook event each week for our entire team to plug into. And using just the Healthy Living Revolution script from the websites that you all can access. You can download the files, the pictures, the script, and hosting a Facebook event. So it gives people that one other thing to invite people to and to be a part of. And it's not time sensitive in a way. If someone's busy that night, they can still join the event and check out the posts later. So it's just another way to drip and give an exposure. And then finally, the live events. This is one of the things that I really encourage. It could be as simple as having coffee. So it doesn't have to be a big event. It can be meeting someone one-on-one. But I want to encourage you to set a couple things that hopefully would get more community together. There are two things that I host every month at my home. I host a salad party the Sunday before our shred. And then I host a Taste of the Revolution another time during the month. And there are usually a handful of distributors who are plugging in. Before I had that team in my area, I would just ask friends, would you be interested in being a part of this recipe exchange with me? I have a couple great cookbooks, and you can pick something out of there and bring that recipe, and we can all taste them. So at my tastings, I usually will fix a vanilla smoothie in the blender and a chocolate smoothie in the blender. So they get to taste those. I'll also make the pudding. If you guys haven't had it, my favorite is a half a cup of chocolate and a half a scoop of the vanilla, not cup, scoop, half a scoop of the chocolate and half a scoop of vanilla, and then add almond milk just until it's the consistency that you like. That combination ends up tasting like brownie batter. I'm telling you, it is a no fail. I mean, everyone there that tries it is dying that this powder of alfalfa sprouts and radish sprouts can taste this good. I've literally had people say, okay, I didn't think I could shred because I can't give up sweets, but if I can eat that, then I can do this. So I always do a chocolate and a vanilla smoothie, different flavors, and then I always make the pudding. It seems like one of our sideline buddies that comes always brings the protein balls, which is great. And then we'll do, someone will do the cauliflower soup, or someone will make a quinoa recipe or something. When I was doing them on my own, I would make the cauliflower soup, the protein balls, and I would then do the smoothies and the pudding. So you don't have to have a ton of stuff. You can do it just as a smoothie tasting. So just make the smoothies and the pudding and have people over. But doing a recipe tasting is really fun. And it really does, I think, show how we're living the mission and helping people try to live healthier lifestyles. So those are just a couple things that I consistently do every month, at least one salad party, at least one tasting. And then, I build in other things as I go. But having a combination, there is a reason that this Get Moving section of our checklist now says to plan 3 events in your first 30 days with your sponsor. If you haven't seen this checklist lately, that's kind of a little revision to it. And I love that Julie Herbst has it, where you have Zoom, Facebook, and Live, and see what works for you. But I encourage you to try all of them, because it's a combination of things. And you may have your favorite, but there may be someone that joins you on this mission who their forte would be the Facebook event, where maybe you love the live events or the Zoom or whatever. But having experience and offering all of them is really key. And then it goes hand in hand with what you're posting on social media or your message blitzing. You can be blitzing people to invite them to these events. And it all just kind of goes together. So we were excited to talk about it. I think it's awesome to see distributors absolutely rock and roll with messaging people and getting, 2,000 points just from caring and loving on people and getting people's orders from word of mouth and texting videos and stuff like that. It absolutely works. But when you can then have an event where they get to be a part of our community, for those of you on the call tonight or catching the recording who have never been to conference, it will absolutely blow your mind to see what you are truly a part of with the Juice Plus company. There is nothing like it. I mean, I remember going to my first conference and sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, when I started 18 years ago, truly had a little bit of an I'm too cool syndrome. I couldn't believe I was doing this type of business. I was corporate America, and I sat there thinking, oh my gosh, this is absolutely unreal that I get to be a part of a company that is this solid and stable and part of a mission that is making such an impact around the world and truly changing future generations. I really had to pinch myself. And I thought, I used to wonder, am I going to wake up someday and this is going to be some big hoax? Well, here I am 18 years later with the most solid, stable business. And I knew at my very first conference that what I had said yes to was something that would be around for me forever. So go to those big events, realize that you're part of something awesome, and then plan your other smaller events to share what we have with others too. So I don't know, Kristie, if you have any other.
Yes, no, and just the challenge is you, first of all, making sure you get your ticket now, and then just encourage you and challenge you to connect with your team leaders or national marketing directors, do some connection calls here this week. Again, think about what are those events, or if you don't have some planned, I mean, that's the great thing is they're super easy to throw a Facebook party or a virtual event together. And again, with Post My Party and other tools like that, we are happy to share any of those things, anything that we can help out with. And then make sure, think about, have your plan of how you're going to kind of work the event when it, as Nyla would say, when it comes to conference of, as you have that new person, who are you going to introduce them to? When are you going to find out what are the trainings? What's going to be most appropriate to them? So if it's a really detailed thing on that Tanya's doing on the numbers, that may be a good time for them to go check out the Tower Gardens if it's just going to be way over their heads. So definitely encourage them, make sure you're plugging into all of the extra events and things, and build in the fun time there as well, because that is huge as well. Introduce them to the doctors. If you have a particular doctor they're interested in, and with the formal booth, or just people that you're running into, friendly faces that are there, or people that maybe they have seen or heard on some of the videos here in the past, right? It's just them being able to put a name with a face and connect them is going to make them feel so special. And again, like Julie said, it just makes it real. It makes it real, so it's not just this third party stuffy doctor or whatever. I mean, once they meet any of our Juice Plus doctors, they will fall in love with them because they are just the real deal, and just salt of the earth fellas and girls. So, all right. Well, anything else, Julie, before we close it up here tonight? And
nope. I guess just to reiterate what you said about sometimes you're needed at an event because it's where you needed to be, and sometimes you're needed there because someone else needed your presence and your spirit there. So the biggest thing is just show up, plan events, and show up all the time, as often as you can, and bring people with you. So.
And leaders go to events, NMDs go to events. That was Shelley Backey when she was like, I just was brand new, hardly a sales coordinator. I was like, I thought I had my 10 customers. I was doing great, and they said, well, NMDs go to conference, NMDs go to boot camp. So if that is a goal, definitely be there. And even if it's not a goal, you owe it to yourself and your team and or just the people that you're sharing Juice Plus with. You need to go learn about the omegas, right? You need to hear it firsthand, because you're going to be way more impactful in that person's health and their life, the people that you love and care about that God has put in your world to go share this mission with. You will do a better job if you are equipped when you come to conference. And everyone else that you bring along will be, and it's way more fun with a buddy. So glad I have my buddy, Julie. Can't wait to see you, my crew chief here. Bring the pit crew and meet us in Indy. We can't wait to see you guys. We love you.
Thank you. Have a great week.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, ladies.